Chris Brintle. Chris Brintle.
News Radio 1270, 1067 KIML. And Chris Brindle joining us. It's official. It's official. Saying the N-word on an illegally recorded tape is now worse than murder, according to WWE. Jimmy Snuka still on the website.
Yeah.
A day after being arrested for murder. I always forgot that one just ends abruptly. Yeah, just like the NFL, which is almost time to start doing that again.
That'll be coming back soon.
This one.
Oh, this gets me pumped for football, DC.
And then it just drops off. I gotta find a new one. Although I don't really want to replace that one now. I really don't want to replace it now because it's kind of the running gag with that soundbite.
Exactly.
It gets you pumped up and then just leaves you hanging.
Yeah.
It's like prom night.
Exactly.
Okay,
it's like every Friday and Saturday night for me.
Well, okay, yeah. We've all been there. Okay, so Jimmy Snuka. This is something that people that follow wrestling have known about for years. And I wanted to bring the page that I had back up. What is it? There we go. The grand jury in Allentown, Pennsylvania, indicted Superfly Jimmy Snuka, WWE Hall of Famer, 72-year-old, with third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. He was charged and booked yesterday, and then, of course, released on bail. He was immediately allowed to post bail because he's got a terminal disease. I forget what I remember seeing. Stomach cancer. He had stomach cancer. He had surgery. He's recovering from it, and he was released on bail because he's bound to a wheelchair, and he's got stomach cancer. I mean, the county doesn't really want to pay for cancer treatment on somebody that hasn't been convicted yet. So, here's the thing, and this story is pretty well known. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever heard the story?
No.
Okay.
And here, just to give a preface of why, because I do follow wrestling, I don't delve into backgrounds of people because I don't want to know
Their real lives.
I want to know about their character. I don't want to. The less I hear about their personal lives, the better.
Especially with these older guys back in the 70s and 80s, you probably don't want to know their personal lives. A lot of these guys were not good people. Okay, so Jimmy Snuka. He had a girlfriend. Let's see. I always forget her name.
I mean, to be fair, though, you can't be on steroids and painkillers and whatever else these wrestlers are on. End up being a good person typically. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
not saying all of them do it. I'm just saying that's.
Yeah, and I don't know if he did steroids. I don't know if he did cocaine or anything. But those things were common back then. We'll just say that. Now. He had a girlfriend named Nancy. She died in a hotel room. He didn't give any kind of CPR. He waited until she was in a coma before he called the police. Now he says she fell and hit her head on the concrete or the floor in the bathroom. However. He had a history of domestic abuse, plus the autopsy at the time showed signs of some kind of domestic abuse, but he was never charged at the time. This was in 1983, so this is 32 years ago. 32 years ago that this happened. However, the family, the Argentino family. Her name was Nancy Argentino. They won a $500,000 wrongful death lawsuit. By default, he didn't even defend himself in a wrongful death lawsuit, but he never paid. He never paid up. So he's always maintained his innocence. A couple years ago, he wrote a book, his autobiography, and his account didn't match up with the account at the time. Now, if you've ever seen an interview with him recently, how can I put this delicately? There's not much left. We'll just say that.
Yeah.
There's not much left. So I really have no idea how the ghostwriter for his autobiography got an entire book out of this guy. I mean, there's nothing left. I mean, it's 30 years of being hit in the head with chairs and coconuts and everything else. Well, coconut was only once, but still. I mean, getting hit in the head with a coconut hurts. It could cause a serious concussion, and there was nothing left. Not to mention he does admit to drug abuse and that kind of stuff as well. So it didn't match up. It didn't match up. The grand jury started looking into it. They thought there was enough for third-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing drags on for a couple years, and by that time he'll either have passed away or be in such bad shape that they'll just give him house arrest or something. I mean, it's gone on for 32 years. He's gotten away with this for 32 years if he's guilty. I should preface that by saying if he's guilty. I don't want any lawsuits from the Superfly. But
he's going to come out with a second book here in a year. It's like, If I Had Done It. Be like,
well,
OJ.
And Fred Goldman will buy that one too.
Yeah. I don't. But you know what? Here, and we started talking about WWE.
Yeah, well, let's talk. Yeah, I want to go back to that.
Well, I don't understand how. I know you want I think in their statement they said that they want to let the courts decide all that due process. That's cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you take him off your website until he's proven guilty? Because is there really? It makes you look bad. This is going to take a long time. Or you didn't give Hulk Hogan this type of
the due process. Yeah. That's what I really. That's the problem I have. I'm not going to be in a rush to say take Jimmy Snuka off your website. I'm saying put back all the other guys that you've erased from your history because they either said a dirty word or you just don't like them anymore.
Right.
I mean, there's been cases of that where somebody will be fired and they'll just be erased from the history. They didn't do anything wrong. They just, they wanted to work for a different company. They wanted to make more money somewhere else, or they wanted to work more somewhere else. You don't really get paid more anywhere else, but you don't, you might get to work more, or they just don't get along. Why? And I know it's not a real sport. It's, they can adjust their history however they want because it's fake. But you're setting a bad precedent when you say that, and this is basically what they're saying, that saying the N-word on an illegally recorded tape is worse than possibly murdering somebody. All you have to do is just be a little bit of consistency.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I'm not so sure they should have immediately just taken Hulk Hogan off of every single thing.
Yeah.
They took him off the show, took him off the website, and maybe I'd be okay with them talking about, quote, due process with Snuka if they would have done the same with other instances. Personally, I'm taking Snuka off of everything. And then if it turns out he's not guilty, okay, I'll put him back on. Yeah. But I'm not going to have that blemish. I don't understand how you're so concerned about the shield, for lack of a better term. You're so concerned.
Like the NFL.
Yeah. Right. You're so concerned with how your company, we talked about this yesterday, how your company looks in the public eye. But yet you're going to wait till due process when it comes to Snuka. It doesn't make any sense. Just take him off. You can put it back on. It's no different than, if this was an NFL player, he's not going to play.
He's immediately cut.
Well, yeah, right. I mean, they're not going to. And then if he turns out not guilty, he can rejoin the league. That's just kind of how it goes.
Well, and that's actually.
And Snuka got himself in trouble, by the way, because we know he's got a history of drug abuse. We know he's got a history of domestic violence. So no, I wouldn't feel bad if they take him out of the record books right now, and then they can always put him back on.
Well, and here's another thing, and this is just. This is just rumors and innuendo, so just take it with a grain of salt. But back in the 80s, and I don't remember this from when I was a kid, but I've I've known of these rumors for probably 20 years now, at least. There are rumors that this entire thing was fixed in the first place, that the company fixed this with the local authorities in the first place. So if you're a publicly traded company and you have a history of helping guys fix problems with local authorities, maybe you'd take the safe side of things and immediately get rid of the guy. I mean, he'll be gone by the end of the day. But look how fast they got rid of Hogan. It was within a couple hours.
Yeah.
And we're 24 hours into this thing now, and nothing.
Geez, I knew they got Hogan off of everything before I even knew why.
Yeah, he was just gone.
He was just
now. It's funny. He's been completely erased from the website. He's been completely erased from their history. But you can go to their YouTube channel and still watch matches. So they didn't do a very good job of scrubbing Hogan from the history, but they did. I mean, that was the intent. It's just it's a shame that they have their priorities in this. Your priorities as a company, and they're not the only company that does this. I mean, pretty much every major media company would do the exact same thing.
It's a problem of just society almost, because every company would do this. Well,
if for instance, if Al Sharpton were arrested tomorrow for some kind of crime, some kind of major felony crime, which
could happen.
It could happen. MSNBC wouldn't erase him. They might give him a couple weeks off with pay, but they wouldn't erase him from their history.
No, probably not.
So, and this is a media company, just like any other media company. Sure, the product isn't something that everybody watches, but it's a media company. They behave just like every other spineless media company.
But
and these guys are really spineless.
They're really spineless, and really, when it comes down to it, it's not just these companies' fault. It's almost all of our faults too, because we buy into this.
Yeah,
we've talked about this multiple times. The fact that your words actually get you in more trouble than your actions. I mean, look at Donald Sterling compared to Ray Rice.
Yeah.
Now I think you have to compare Ray Rice's situation before the video come out. Because you already knew that there was domestic issues before the video. Remember, we knew of the incident.
Yeah.
You read it in police reports. He still wasn't as vilified as a Donald Sterling was. That, of course, was was it illegally recorded? Another one, illegally recorded conversation. Once again, where the rant was vile, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, should we have vilified him more than other players who, like Adrian Peterson or Ray Rice? No.
Well, and Adrian Peterson and Ray Rice have both been reinstated. They can play. I mean, nobody's signing Ray Rice, but he could technically play if somebody were to sign him. Donald Sterling is completely persona non grata from the NBA. He's banned from the NBA. They forcibly took his team from him. Sure, he got $2 billion for it.
Right.
He probably got more than it was worth, but it was forcibly taken from him. So, words are more important than actions in this day and age.
And it's a scary thing.
It is scary. Okay, what do we have going on in sports?
Well, coming up in sports, we have the finals of the Gillette Jousting Tournament. Full results.
Okay, we'll be right back. News Talk 1270 KIM. News Radio 1270 and 106.7 KIML.
Call Don right now. 682-1270. Don Carpenter. On News Radio 1270 and 106.7 KIML. 7 KIML. 7 K.